Hello, I'm N C Narayanan. I'm a professor at the Center for Policy Studies, IIT Bombay, and I look after the Alleppey case, that's the Kerala case in the Brown Coal project. Our group in IIT Bombay is working on sanitation and the problems of centralized sanitation for the last 15 years. And it came also from the kind of case studies that we had done in the Ganga Basin, in the Kandy city in Sri Lanka, and the Trivandrum city in Kerala, where it was very clear that these big projects come with network solutions, and the kind of the problems that we face in small towns in the global south. It could be it could be problems of capital, it could be problems of energy and capacity, and also the small towns in the global south is not kind of very appropriate to have such kinds of with small roads and kind of dense populations and things like that. There are serious limitations in bringing this technology to those towns. So we are not per se telling about the problems of network solutions, but contextually what are the challenges that it's facing. From that we started working on alternatives, basically technology alternatives in there. Then we found a kind of plethora of alternatives like DWATs, the soil biotechnology, and several other kinds of technologies which could be nature-based, less energy intensive, less capital intensive, and less kind of capacity intensive also. But we found that those technologies work mostly in institutional settings, like in educational institutions, in hospitals, So it's actually kind of micro level solutions. But if you want to kind of make a water body right, in a city, like a lake or a canal or something, then we need to kind of scale it up also. So the question that we asked was, can we scale up this alternate technology at the level of a town? Then there were kind of several kind of challenges. One was the kind of the methodology for doing that. How do you plan such things in a town? Because if you need a big project, a network solution, then you have kind of thumb rules, like 80% of the water that is supplied is the kind of volume of wastewater that's calculated as such, and then you can actually plan a treatment plan as well as the network. Then the problem is 70% of the cost is the network cost. So here we in a decentralized solution we need kind of the wastewater produced at each locale and also the flow of that. So how do we do that? Then we developed a methodology of doing that using the concept of waste watersheds. And second, over these biophysical waste watersheds, we place what is called the socio-economic situation by a socio-economic survey, where we look at what is the kind of and do that again from the wastewater system. So there are several steps of doing this. The first is the biophysical understanding of the terrain, where we map the waste watersheds, that is the natural streams as well as the constructed drains, and we make a waste watershed. And the second one is the kind of sanitation practices that are done on these waste watersheds, like do households have good septic tanks, like good containment systems, and are they separating black water and grey water? So I think that is the kind. And the third one is the socio-economic situation. A town can be disaggregated into different zones according to the socio-economic situation. Like there will be multi-story buildings, there are commercial pockets, there are very sparse settlements, there are slums, and each one of these may need a different technological, financial, and institutional solution. So disaggregating a town will actually give us a better understanding of what could be the kind of decentralized solutions. What can be done at the household level. You know, like if you separate the black water and grey water, the grey water can be easily treated, you know, and then it may need only a kind of, you know, very little kind of treatment. But a black water has to be really treated well. But if you don't make it to a cocktail, then I think the cost of treatment can really come down. From there onwards, you know, what can be done at the community level, and only the rest should be done at the kind of town level. So this can actually give a very disaggregated picture of the town as well as the solutions, the financial, institutional, all that. So with this understanding, we actually came to Alleppey, where there was a very interesting work going on. You know, like a decentralized solid waste management efforts were going on, which we then kind of integrated that project with that kind of, you know, that kind of an imagination that was already there, and a policy. So there are several elements of this. You know, one is to do this kind of a work, we don't have any local capacity. So we identified local academic institutions and students as the knowledge producers of this. One is demystify the kind of, you know, methodology. We developed mobile apps to kind of, you know, to do the kind of mapping as well as the socioeconomic survey, and also take on board the municipality right from the beginning, so that our solutions will be acceptable to them. So bringing in academic institutions and municipality has other advantages also. Like one is, you know, better data, better analysis. Second is students coming in, you know, repeatedly into this, you know, batches of students coming in and doing the same things. You can also bring in some accountability in governance. And the students get a better understanding of, you know, the kind of issues that they study, from the bookish knowledge of the classroom, they come to real life problems and analyze it. So, and also they become kind of, you know, better citizens. So what we say is that, you know, it's a kind of student citizen kind of a program is what we've done that. So we are very eager to kind of share our whatever we have done in Alleppey with other sites in Asia and Africa, and also learn from them, you know, what we can do together. So the most interesting part of our meetings when we come together is that the issues are very structural, especially the kind of, you know, issues in the developing world are very kind of structural, and what can we learn from each other, and how can we kind of take this process forward.